Okay, come on. You were at a private concert with Bleachers. How the hell are you guys doing? That's a little bit better. Okay. My name is Heaven. I do mornings on Alt 94.9, and this is Howie.
Really? Hi, I'm Heaven. Yay! Howie.
Howie.
We also have Bree in the back. Make some noise for Bree, everybody. And we have Bleachers here.
Yes? I'm what? I did not get food. Did you guys get food? Yeah. Scones, muffins, coffee, tea. We got like a whole lot of stuff for you. And Bleachers are coming right up. We're gonna ask you guys if you have any questions for them. Let you guys ask said questions. We'll talk to them for a little bit. They're gonna play like 3 songs for us, and then we'll line up in the back, do photos with them. You can certainly take photos during the performance and video, whatever you wanna do. Hashtags Alt949. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you guys taking time out. We know it's in the middle of the day, but we promise you this is going to be something really special for you. These type of performances like this are always an amazing time. How many of you guys have been to one of these Alt at the Vault performances before? So you know what they're like. At the end, we'll do the songs, we'll get through, we'll do the questions and stuff like that. At the end, we'll be taking photos. Sometimes we gotta take groups of 4, sometimes we can just do, pairs and stuff like that. We try to get the line going as quick as we can. So we'll line up after we're done in the back there, we'll get that all set to go. And yeah, so I'm getting a stretch it. So this is where Heaven's gonna sing you a song. But no, seriously, if you did get some food, you're not going to lose your chair. You can go grab something. There's drinks on the side, and then there's yummy citrus water, which is my favorite thing on the planet, if you know me. I kind of love that stuff.
So funny thing, earlier, and as everybody was setting up, we were singing songs, but we were singing them with weird little songs like this, like doing that kind of thing. And that's how we entertain ourselves when we are bored. I do want to say thank you to you guys who brought toys for the Christmas Box House. We appreciate that so much. We actually have Gina from the Christmas Box House here. I don't know if she wants to be pointed out, so I won't point her out. But they're an amazing organization that works to help children who have been in neglectful and abusive situations. And we've been trying to give them a Christmas. Some of these kids have never experienced a Christmas in their lifetime, if you can imagine that. So we've been collecting toys for them, new clothing, gift cards, cash. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's needed. So after you leave here, if you're feeling generous, you can go check out alt949.com and just see what's on the wish list. There's still a lot of time to help them out as well. But thank you for those of you who did donate. We've got bins going around Salt Lake City, and we're excited about that. So yeah. And
now I'm gonna stretch. So there was this one time that but back to the questions thing. If you haven't been to one of these before, the best thing to do, now between each and every song, we're going to give you guys a chance to ask some questions. We're going to ask some questions too to help fill it up, because a lot of times people get a little gun shy, like, I don't know. So we'll do that, we'll give you a chance to do so. If you don't get your question answered rather between that song, know that between the next song, we'll have another chance for you to do so as well. And we'll try to get to as many of you as we can. So get your questions ready, and we'll be ready to go here in just a minute or two. The guys are getting ready to come in. Our promotions director, Chad. By the way, you guys got to make some noise for Chet, because he can hear you outside this door. Chet's the guy in the gray shirt who makes sure he takes care of all this stuff and puts it together for you. So make some noise for that guy. And without any further ado, why don't you guys put your hands together for
How you guys doing?
Great!
Yeah? You're enthusiastic, that's great. Was that you? I'm great too. What's your name?
Brandon.
Jack, nice to meet you.
Same here.
I have to tune it for 1 second. Guys, I hate tuning. This is so cool, we're staying in this hotel, so we just came down from the room to hang out with all of our friends.
Bleachers. I love that song. That makes me so happy. I absolutely love it. Yeah! How can it not make you happy? It's so fun. Video is super fun, and you wrote it, am I right? Kind of inspired by Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark, right?
The beat, yeah.
Oh.
I thought that you didn't hear a lot of that kind of swingy rock beat on the radio nowadays.
Yeah.
I thought that a lot of music had gotten way more like halftime, like gyrating, like music that's more in the hips. Seriously, and that song is more like up here.
Yeah, I had no hips, I had shoulders all the way.
There's stuff on the album that's in the hips, but that one I thought would be. Sometimes it's nice to look at what's going on and try to do the opposite.
Yeah, it's totally cool, and I'm a Springsteen fan, so maybe that's why I just love it so much. But it's great. So, any other songs on the album that you kind of were like, oh, this is the artist that I was kind of channeling there?
Sometimes here and there, but usually it's like. You get like a tiny, you don't want to go too far with that stuff ever because then you don't want anything to ever sound derivative, but like it's nice to have like a teeny influence like that one, like just the beat. I was like, okay, if I move from that beat, that's like a cool idea. Or trying to think what else was like that. A lot of it's rhythmic for me.
Yeah.
You know, like songs like the song I Want to Get Better. I thought like not specifically an artist, but just like how do I make a really big song that's a slow tempo. That song's actually really slow. It kind of like pulses in a really slow way. So it usually always starts with like a beat idea. Like how's it gonna feel?
Awesome. Yeah, and that is a really big song all over the place.
But it's slow, which is
it is. But okay, well, awesome. You're gonna do a couple more for us?
I got tuning in, which I hate.
I am just now learning how to play the guitar.
How's it going?
That's great. Wonderful.
What
I'm
songs
on
do you
lesson
know?
2. Oh, I don't know a song yet.
You haven't learned like
I'm learning power chords.
power chords?
Learning.
You can play Green Day songs if you know power chords.
I'm learning that, yes. I can play a few songs from artists who are now inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I can play a few of those songs, right?
You can play like, that's just 2 power chords.
I could totally do that.
Or you could do like When I Come Around is just power chords.
Yes. I'm like, a lot of punk songs are just some power chords. I'm gonna have to get back. Look at you.
It's just all power chords.
Yeah. It's just, the thing is, for me, getting the fingers to go where they're supposed to go, that's the biggest challenge. Can you just teach me? Like, you're making it look really easy, and now I'm completely embarrassed. But yeah, School of Rock is where I'm going. It's like these kids.
Oh, literally?
It's a literal School of Rock.
And it's mostly kids?
Yeah. Well, they have an adult program too.
Oh, okay.
Sorry guys, I'm just like going off on a tangent now. Here we go. But
a funny idea of like the kids being mean to you.
No, they're totally nice.
Not that they should. It's just
I do. I just
didn't realize it was an adult program.
Yeah.
Every time I see kids, I think they're gonna like be dicks or something. Like
you know, me too, because I was bullied big time when I was a kid, so I'm just like, you scare me. No offense, kids. You're great. You're wonderful. But yeah, I kind of have the same thing going. But no, this is great.
Step Brothers when the kids beat them up.
Yes. Well, these kids are super nice, and they can all like shred and play all of these crazy instruments. So I'm hoping that when I grow up, I'm like these kids.
You start a band with them.
Yes. And be the weird old person in the band. That's gonna be weird. All right, well, I think people can see you, not listen to me talk about my guitar lessons. All right, what's up next?
We're gonna play an acoustic version of a song called You're Still a Mystery.
Awesome. Bleachers, guys, give it up again.
This is a pretty cool project that you put together, Jag. And kind of explain, I mean, you were in Fun. At the height of when all this stuff is exploding for Fun, you're out on tour. How did you ever find time to put together a side project like Bleachers?
Well, I don't like the term side project, first of all.
Okay.
Sorry. Because side project, I always think of it like if someone has 2 kids, no one would be like, is one of them a side kid? You know? And I feel like sometimes with art and music, people always like try to categorize things. Like when I put it out, because I was working on it, I never thought, oh, was that not on? It was on? Sorry. Something just happened in my head. It was actually really, really weird, and you never know when you're going to get ideas. Everyone knows what this is like. Like sometimes you have a whole bunch of time and you have no good ideas, and then sometimes you have no time and you have great ideas that come to you. So you can't choose when that's going to happen. I was out on tour and I just started getting a lot of ideas for a different album, and so I followed it anytime I could. Like I'd write songs in hotel rooms and buses and planes and record them, and actually a lot of what I recorded in those places ended up being the album. Like I Want to Get Better, I recorded the beat and the drums in a hotel in Malaysia. I did a lot of the guitars in Australia. Roller Coaster, I did some vocals in Sweden. So it was just kind of all over the place, and it was truly the opposite of how I ever made an album. Because in the past it was always you go to a studio for 2 months and you make the album, that's it, and you live with it. And this was just this long, ongoing process of working wherever I could, which is still how I work. Like, I worked a little bit this morning in this hotel. It's just nice to be able to work in any space you're in, so you don't just get like, so you don't just get stuck in, I made this, oh no, it's okay, no, but thank you. So you don't get stuck in like, I made this album in one place and this is it. You can just sort of make an album that represents you in all places.
So did the other guys in the band, did they know you were making this record, or was it kind of on the down low, or? Yeah,
everyone around me knew I was working on music. I've always done that, because you know, when we got together with Fun, the three of us had our own bands. That's how we met. I had a band called Steel Train, Nate had a band called The Format, Andrew had a band called Othello. So the idea of all of us making our own music was always what we did. So that was never a weird thing. And it was never meant to be a secret either. The only reason why I kept it a secret from everyone else was because I wanted to lead with music. You know, I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm making this album, and then have there be no, you know, just like talk about all the fluffy stuff around what matters, which is music. So I wanted music to come first, but I couldn't put out any music until I finished the album, because how could I know what should come out first? The introduction is so important. So all of a sudden I found myself in a position of, I can't talk about this because I have to know what it is before I share it.
So what were your expectations for Bleachers? Before, like the day before you dropped I Want to Get Better, what was going through your head at that moment?
Like, oh God. What have I done? I try not to think about stuff. There's so much you can't control, and there's so much that you can control. And I think that focusing on the things that you can't control is very bad for you as a person, and focusing on the things you can control makes you better and better. So what I can control is how good the records are, and you know, how good we play live and things like that. So I just put all my focus into the records, and thought that, you know, what matters is to make the best records, and then however it's received, I can't really think about it. I can be happy if it's positive and sad if it isn't, but I can't think, and I still don't. It's damaging.
So what do you think is in 2015? I mean, you've not allowed yourself really much of a break at all. I mean, you've just been going for years now.
Yeah, I have no life outside.
So what's in 2015 for you?
Actually, I think we announced today another Salt Lake City show. We're going to play in the venue at the beginning of March. It's one of the first shows of the tour, but we're more touring in 2015. We're going to Europe in February. We're coming back to the US in March and April, Salt Lake City, which, by the way, I love in the venue. It's like one of my favorite places to play, along with Kilby Court. Have you guys ever seen me in any of those places? Kilby Court! Yeah? Right on. But just you and I. Yeah. You were the one person there. Yeah, I knew you. I can't believe that show didn't do better. But just a ton of touring. And then constantly working on new music, and you know, I want to put out more Bleachers music, and just I don't know, I try not to think too far in the future.
All right. I can open it up for a couple of questions, then we'll get to another song. Go ahead. Stand up.
I was just gonna wonder, like, where does your inspiration come from when you write like your own music for Bleachers?
I've only ever been able to write about my own personal experience. Like, I've always been so envious listening to songs like Billy Joel songs where he like weaves these whole stories about other people, but I've never been able to do that. So the inspiration is just purely things that have happened to me, things I've been through and how they've affected me. Specifically on this album, like the idea of, God damn it.
Unbelievable.
Specifically on this album, the idea of moving on with your life. I think, you know, myself, and I draw a lot of inspiration from other people. Like, it's like we're all here, we're all trying to exist and not become overly complicated by the things we've been through. So, you know, the concept of hope, but in a very dark way, is a big inspiration on the album.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
On the album, you use the phrase, I want to be grateful for the experiences, a lot.
Yeah.
Is that just like a random phrase, or what does that mean?
I did a lot of sampling on the album of people talking. So it started with, my girlfriend's sister was graduating college, and she came to the studio to hang out. She was talking about leaving college and what a profound experience that was for her. So I just turned the mic on, and she was like talking about, actually she was talking about space and college. And actually at the beginning of Wild Heart, you can hear her talking about space a little bit in the background. But she said this thing, she said, I want to be grateful for the experience I've had. And I grabbed that sample, or that recording, and I chopped it up and I started like, looping it. It happens at the end of the album too. And then I set it into my phone, and it just seemed to like really speak to a lot of what the album is about, like sort of wanting to be grateful, wanting to be better. Like I want to get better. Like the idea of wanting these things sometimes is bigger than having those things. But it just, if you know, sometimes you do something and it feels very connected to the work, so you want to just like jam it everywhere. So I put that sample. It's like hidden all over the album. Yeah.
Anybody else? Go ahead. In the back.
Your video for I Want to Get Better, do you have that in mind when you wrote the song?
No, that came way later. Actually, the first idea for the video was I wanted to do a video where it was one shot, and it was me. You know when people propose in a glass of champagne, they put the ring in the champagne? So I wanted it to be one shot where it was like I'm at dinner with like someone who's playing my girlfriend. She goes to the bathroom, and then I'm like, I like go like this, and like her whole family, like her grandparents and her siblings and her parents come out, and they're all like lined up, and the waiter comes out, and he's got 2 glasses of champagne, and one of them has the ring in it, and she comes out of the bathroom and is like, what's going on? It's all one shot, and then she drinks the champagne, and then chokes to death on the ring. And then the end of the video is her whole family watching this happen. So, to answer your question, the ideas come really randomly.
Yeah. Also, no, my wife really loves you guys.
Oh, cool.
She said, is there any way we can talk after her?
Yeah, definitely. We'll do it right after.
Cool, thanks.
And you have a question?
How did you guys get together for Bleachers then?
John and I played together in a band called Steel Train, and so we've known each other for a long time. And so then when it was time to put the live band together, I called him, and he called this guy Adam who plays drums for Tegan and Sarah, and Adam pretty much referred all the other guys. Right?
Yeah, he knows. Whoa, he knows every musician in like the country.
How did Adam know you?
Through David Lisby.
Through David
Plays
Lisby.
Mr.
Yeah, David Lisby played in Fun 3 years ago for one tour. Everyone's sort of connected.
It's nice. It's like the older you get playing music, the smaller it becomes of who can actually do the.
Well, because like people are out there because they can't survive. So
it's very difficult.
And so there's less and less people. So at this point, I think everyone playing music in every band sort of knows each other. It wasn't that when I was 18, everybody was in a band. It was just like you were either in a band, or you know, were like a skater, or we're going to college. Those were like the 3 options. Everyone my age. So it's like now I would say like 1/100th of the people are still in bands, which is both really sad and really cool.
Alright, also, why the name Bleachers?
It just popped into my head. I was writing a song called Like a River Runs, which is on the album, and I working titled it Bleachers just to save it. Like, you know when you need to save something on your computer, and you just like type in like Salt Lake City, or wherever, you know? And so I just typed it, and then I really started to fall in love with the name and kind of the feeling of it.
Okay, well, we'll get to a couple more questions next, but tell us about the next song.
Oh, I'm gonna tune first, so that's
Okay.
weird. Just everyone be totally silent and enjoy this. Terrible. There's one good thing about tuning, which is that when it's over, we don't remember it happened. See? Alright, we're gonna play one more song, and this song's called I Want to Get Better. Thank you guys so much!
We'll do a couple real quick questions, and then we'll get some pictures and stuff. Sound good?
Yes.
I saw some hands up over here. Go ahead.
So did you ever know beforehand, like while you were working on this, that you wanted to work with someone from like Steel Train or like from Fun, like if you wanted to work with like Nate or Andrew or Will Noon or something?
Andrew sang all over the album. He did almost all the harmonies on a lot of different places. So he was in the studio a ton. And then I always thought it would be awesome to play with John. And you know, like I think you do that. You take sort of like anything you can from the past that would be great in the future is always a really good thing. So I'm always excited anytime that I can work with people that I've been able to work with in a great way in the past.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Do you like listening to your own album?
Yeah, I do. You know, I never understood artists and stuff who don't like hearing their own music. I think a huge part of making music is making anything. You know, if you built, did anybody build shit here? Yeah. So if you, what do you build? What, like a dresser or a house?
Buildings like this.
Yeah, buildings like this. So it's the goal of making anything, building something, is to build something that you would want to live in or exist in or listen to, right? I don't think someone builds a building and then, or builds a dresser and then your friends are like, how was that? And you're like, oh, it's terrible. You know, and so I think there's this weird thing with art where you're supposed to apologize for it, but I make music that I want to listen to. That's because if I don't want to listen to it, why should anyone else want to listen to it? You know, I think about the radio, or I think about what I hear online, or if I hear anything from just some random thing on YouTube to the biggest song in the world. I look at all of it and I think, what's missing? What do I want to hear right now that I'm not getting? And so that's what, you know, the same thing that an architect would do with a building or something like that. So I really enjoy listening to it, and I don't listen to it I'm the greatest. I listen to it I made this to be super listenable.
All right.
Yeah.
One last question, then we'll get some photos.
When you're in your songwriting process, is there a pattern, the lyrics usually come to you first, or a melody comes first with a beat, or does it just kind of depend on the song?
It's totally random. It totally depends. Every song is completely different. Do you have the record?
Part of it.
Part of it. What's that?
A couple of the songs.
A couple of the songs, so you should get all of it. But trust me, I listen to it. There's a song called Wake Me, and the big lyric is, I can't believe I captured your heart. Actually, sorry, I'd rather be sad with you than anywhere away from you. That was the lyric first, because I was that's a really modern way of looking at a love song for me. So that was I want to build a song around that. And then I was watching Twin Peaks at the time. So I really liked the guitar tone from the intro of Twin Peaks, so I have a guitar sound that's similar in that. So that's just starts with a lyric, and then based on things that are happening, all the other ideas come. So a lot of times we'll start with a beat. It could be a guitar part or a piano part. I want to get better, started with those piano samples. That's how that idea came about. But it was also a separate idea of trying to write a song with kind of my life story jammed in the verses. The biggest way it starts is a concept. What a song is going to feel like, and then everything else kind of fits in. But it's pretty random. What can start that concept could be anything. Which is why I like to just be at home or in the studio just messing around, because that's when really good things happen typically for me.
All right, you guys. Well, we'll get you guys lined up back here. We'll be taking photos back here. The band's going to exit out here and then come back. We'll get the photos with you guys. So go ahead and let's make a line back there. One last time. Give it up for Bleachers, everybody.